NBC doesn't give a damn about America or Americans, and they think we're stupid. The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
And
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Grift Report live, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this is a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to all my Hoteps and the great constituents of Hotepistan. Hotepistan is forever. Shout out to the Haram Life. What up, man? Steph Colonel, what up, man? Jack Reeves, Quarter Crawler, what up, man? We got a lot to cover today. Today's going to be a very interesting broadcast. Very interesting broadcast. Announcements. Join our Telegram group, Big Boy Telegram group, talking big money, big crypto. If you're lost, if you're a boomer, if you're not a part of this big crypto run, Bitcoin up 120% this year. The boomers said, I can't touch it. I don't want it. Yeah, well, I'll take these 2x gains. No problem. Mo for me. So if y'all want to know more about crypto, if you want to see the crypto plays we're making, join the Telegram group for Big Boy Talk. Also, it's a waiting room for the latest and greatest coming from Syscoin. Shout out to Syscoin. Syscoin pump too. Shout out to people who I gave Syscoin to. You're now that much richer. Or if you bought it, you're that much richer. So yeah, join the Telegram group. A lot of great information. We just posted the latest update to the greatest app coming out. We're gonna be moving into an encrypted world. Hotepistan will begin to exist as an encrypted world digitally before we turn it into a real thing. It's been one of my greatest dreams to build Hotepistan, and it will come to fruition one day. But we are going to exist as a community in an encrypted world where communication is safer and better, and move away from some of these big tech platforms. So hit that link in the description box below and join our Telegram group to be a part of that. And don't be mad when other Hotepistanis are on the timeline talking about, oh, I just made money by hanging out with the Hoteps. Don't come later. Oh, Hotep Jesus, how do we get in? You should have joined the Telegram group. Also, first one in is gonna reap the most rewards. So with that being said, I took my master focus. You probably should too. Discount code right here. QR code on the screen will take you to the website. Link in the description box below. All of these things, including entering the Grift Report coupon code, will get you 30% off our products in the store, specifically the supplement. We got t-shirts and hoodies coming soon.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Yeah, so t-shirts and hoodies coming soon to the Men of Order store. Look out for that. Another way for you guys to support, be a part of the movement. A discount will be applied at checkout. You may not see it in your cart. You will see it at checkout. You'll see it right there. We do have a one-step checkout. So it's another wonderful upgrade on our website. So we're going to talk about the debate, the GOP debate. And I like what this lady's saying in the chat right here. Leah Laughlin is saying, it's incredible that you believe he has any core principles. Vivek didn't do anything but repeat talking points for money. Tell her what she's won. You're absolutely correct. Leah. I love that you see through Vivek. I love that you see through Vivek. Unfortunately, the same can be said for the rest of the people on that stage.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
So we gotta, decide who's the best grifter. So I just want to show one clip from last night. I gotta see how YouTube is gonna react here with the copyright situation. I'll scream fair use as much as I want. It won't make a difference. But let's take a look. I want to just take a look at just the opening, because I watched the whole thing, except for the closing arguments, mostly because, when I watched the beginning segment, it told me everything I needed to know about this debate. Everything. So let's go into it.
Mentioned candidate is entitled to a response. We want to caution
and drain the swamp. And he said
far ahead in the poll.
2020.
Single day. This is Trey. He used our trading robot and passed 3
These ads, man.
It's restoring faith. To smoke those but here's what history teaches us.
Ambassador Haley, because you were in President Trump's cabinet, his goal was a 300.
The Ukrainians. It's because they know that China's coming after them next. There is a reason Ukrainians want us to support Israelis, because they know that if Iran wins, Russia wins. Ambassador. We have to see the
Kristen Welker, the moderator of Meet the Press, and Hugh Hewitt. If you're out
at the table, the moderators. Invoking a candidate's name or policy does not necessarily mean the mentioned candidate is entitled to a response. We want to caution all the candidates not to interrupt or speak over your fellow debaters. If you talk over each other, the voters can't hear you. And given the critical issues we're facing specifically on the world stage, we want everyone to hear every word you have to say. Continued interruptions may result in loss of additional questions. And to our audience, please hold your applause so that the candidates can be heard. With that said, let's have a good debate. All right, our first question, the opening question, is one for all of you. Donald Trump is the first ex-president in more than 100 years to run for the White House again, and he remains popular.
So the very first thing that comes out the moderator's mouth is Donald Trump. Really? Really? This is what we're going to ask people about? So this is just chatty patty, gossip, soap opera stuff. But let's continue.
Popular among Republican primary voters as his legal challenges mount. Governor DeSantis, let me begin with you on this one. Speak to Republican voters who are supporting Donald Trump. Why should you and not him be the Republican nominee to face Joe Biden a year from now?
Actually, I was going to show my tweet first, but I'll show it after.
This country is in trouble, and the elites that have put us here, they don't care about you. They don't care that you're having to grapple with higher grocery prices or.
He's just so scripted and just. I really don't like Ron DeSantis. He doesn't come off as a smart individual to me.
Have higher gas prices. They don't care that your family's less secure because of the open border that's allowed drugs and even terrorists to come into this country. Well, I care. I am not going to sit idly by and let this country continue its downward spiral. We need leadership, and we need it now. I'll take the hits, I'll take the arrows, I'll take the slings, because ultimately it's not about me. It's about you.
It's about you. It's not about me. It's about you. Save us the drama.
Fight for you. I will make sure to lead this country's revival, and I will win for you and your family. Actions speak louder than words. We don't have time for excuses, and it's not something that we're going to be able to have all these distractions. As a veteran, I will get the job done. Now, if you look where we are now, it's a lot different than where we were in 2016. And Donald Trump's a lot different guy than he was in 2016. He owes it to you to be on this stage and explain why he should get another chance. He should explain why he didn't have Mexico pay for the border wall.
There's no reason for Donald Trump to be at these debates. None of these people are even close to beating him. And sharing the debate stage with Trump sharing the debate stage with the rest of these guys is doing them a favor. His team made the right decision to not participate in these debates. We got to see who's going to be the best candidate to be Donald Trump's VP.
He should explain why he racked up so much debt. He should explain why he didn't drain the swamp. And he said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing. In Florida, I showed how it's done. 1 year ago here, we want a historic victory, including a massive landslide right here in Miami-Dade County. That's how we have to do it. So I promise you this, as the nominee, next November, I'll get the job done. And as president, I will deliver
your time
for
is
you.
up. Let me turn to Ambassador Haley.
And I will deliver for you. Shut your ass up.
Audience, let me turn to...
Turn your ideas into videos. Go to artlist.io.
Haley, why you and not the former president?
Jonah Ryan says, who has Nikki Haley's daughter's OnlyFans? Oh, my Lord. Is this true? Does she have an OnlyFans?
Oh, this is a real Hotep brother.
Well, I think you look at the fact that we're almost $34 trillion in debt. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 50% of American families can't afford diapers. 1 in 6 American families can't pay their utility bills. You have the fact that he used to be right on Ukraine and foreign issues. Now he's getting weak in the knees and trying to be friendly again. I think that we've got to go back to the fact that we can't live in the past. We can't live in other
So far, Ron and Nikki have taken the bait.
headlines. We've got to start focusing
Have taken the bait. Remember I said bait.
on what's going to make America strong and proud. And that's what I'm focused on doing. Let's make sure we pay down our debt. I think we need an accountant in the White House. Let's make sure that we have transparency in the classroom. As a mom, I know what that means. Let's make sure we secure our borders so that our families are safe. Let's get crime down because our families want to know that they can be safe no matter where they go. And as the wife of a combat veteran, I will tell you, a military needs...
As the wife of a combat veteran, it's very important for me to tell you I'm connected to the military because that's what resonates amongst voters.
to know we have our back, and we need to make sure that America is strong.
Ambassador, thank
It's like when these people go and have pretend relationships like Cory Booker and his pretend relationship. As soon as he didn't become president, then the relationship fizzled out. And, you know, they go get a relationship and then a dog. And, you know, hopefully there's some military service somewhere in their background to convince voters that they're American or some shit like that.
you very much. And, let me just caution the audience. Let's not go down this road. We've asked you to please, keep restrain yourselves and would be helpful so we can hear the candidates because these are important issues and the voters want and need to hear them. Mr. Ramaswamy, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer to the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into.
I just want to stop right there and comment on that. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. Who was the other one he said? Chat. This is how much I pay attention to these people. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. See, he was all right with Joe Rogan. He was all right. He was on the right path with Joe Rogan. Elon Musk? I mean, yeah, you would have higher viewership, but they wouldn't be there for America. They wouldn't be there for the debate. Everybody be watching they'd be more of a distraction than anything. Tucker. Yeah. Tucker and Rogan would be too much of a distraction. Elon wouldn't take it serious. I think he hit 2 out of 3 there. Joe Rogan and Tucker, you could have stopped right there. All you needed was Joe Rogan and Tucker. Elon, no. Elon, no. He's not even an American. Is he even American?
To our party. Do you think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate?
Now, that would be better substitution. I would like to see Gutfeld in place of Elon. That would have made more sense. But he works for Fox, and this is NBC News, so that would make sense.
They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ross.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back. We need accountability.
It's a home run right there. That's a home run right there. That is a home run. Now, Vivek was kissing up to Tucker and Rogan and Elon, paying lip service to those guys, saying what the people wanted to hear. But that part right there where he attacked the media, now that was brilliant. That was brilliant. I'm going to let him finish. I'm going to tell you what his play here is.
Accountability, because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why you?
Nailed it. After I saw, because I watched the replay. I didn't watch it live. I had to watch the replay. I didn't see any clips. I purposely didn't watch any clips because I didn't want to hear anybody's opinions. So I watched the replay last night. I fell asleep. Then this morning I woke up and finished the debate. It literally wasn't worth finishing, but I just wanted to make sure I had a thorough understanding of what was going on last night. So when I spoke to the people, it was from a very informed point of view. Now, so far we have Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley took the bait, and Vivek did the right thing and attacked the left. Brilliant. He's got a functioning mind. And I think his advantage is age. That's what it is here. His advantage mostly is age, besides the fact that he's like some biotech guru or something like that with failed drugs. But he's a very high IQ individual. You can say what you want about him, but he's fucking intelligent, all right? You can say whatever you want about him. Robert Ramaswamy, the grifter. But he's really smart. And that was a really, really, really smart play, and he didn't take the bait.
Audience, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's let the candidate speak. Governor Christie, why you and not former President Trump?
Well, Lester, look, you said it at the beginning of the debate. We are dealing with extraordinarily important issues facing this country right now. We have our greatest ally in the Middle East under fire from a terrorist group that has committed to wiping them and every Jewish person in this world off the map. We have Ukraine with Vladimir Putin, a communist KGB dictator who wants to put the old band back together. He's starting in Ukraine and he's going to move to the Baltics and Poland after that. We have inflation in this country that is choking every American family that wants to try to rise up and give their children a better life. And tonight, we need to decide which president's going to be the one to tackle the big issues, who's going to make this country look once again, not just inward, but look outward at the world and say America is the country, the indispensable nation that makes this a safer world. And in a safer world, American innovation, American hard work has always been the thing that has driven our country to greater things. I'm going to be the president who will do those big things. We're not going to be small, and I'll say this about Donald Trump. Anybody who's going to be spending the next year and a half of their life focusing on keeping themselves out of jail and courtrooms cannot lead this party or this country, right, and Governor, it needs to be said plainly.
Governor, thank you. Let me turn to...
Another one took the bait. Christie took the bait. So Nikki took the bait. Ron took the bait. And Christie took the bait.
Senator Scott, you've said former President Trump can't win. Make your case to Republican voters.
Well, certainly. What I would say without any question is that the truth of my life destroys the lies of the radical left. We need a president and a candidate who will actually help our base solidify and attract independent voters into our party. The Great Opportunity Party is now winning back African-American voters and Hispanic voters because we are working on a foundation based on faith. Our nation...
No, that's not why you're running back. You're not winning black voters because you did something right. You're winning black voters because the left did something wrong. Stop lying.
Is facing some deep challenges. It is a loss.
And this is why I can't really fuck with this dude. You know what I mean? Because he just says what is the right thing to say to keep support from his base. And I get it. You know, he's a Republican. He's got to play by the Republican rules. But he's kind of corny in the way he does it. I like Robert Ramaswamy because, you know, frankly, Vivek is independent. He's not a politician. He's not beholden to any political party because he's not a member of the political party. So his tongue's a little bit looser. Pause. But Senator Tim Scott, yeah, he's kind of boring. He's been in politics too long. Not as long as Feinstein or anything like that, but long enough to where you become like them.
Of faith in this.
Like all he had to do was say, we're winning black voters because Biden administration failed. Don't try to give your party any credit because y'all didn't do anything to win the black vote. Just stop it.
This nation that is a part of the erosion that we're seeing every single day. It's restoring faith, restoring our Christian values that will help.
And again, restoring our Christian values. Give me the fucking break. America's not restoring any Christian values. What Christian values is America restoring? Just stop it. And this is the shit they say because they want Christian voters, right? You gotta mention Christian and I'm a good Christian. And then Christian voters eat this shit up like it means something.
Help this nation once again become the city on the hill. When Ronald Reagan talked about
the city on the hill, he's got all these little buzz phrases. Just like I said, he's been in this game, so he knows what to say. The city on the hill.
About the city on the hill? He was coming from Matthew 5. When President Lincoln talked about a house divided, that was Mark, our founding documents.
Lincoln, our founding documents. Just typical cookie cutter shit. Oh, we gotta remember to bring up Abraham Lincoln. I could just see his handlers in the background now, prepping for this debate. Remember to mention Christian. Remember to mention Lincoln. Say our great nation. Mention the founding fathers. I could just see him prepping for this now.
Speak to the importance of a faith foundation. You don't have to be a Christian for America to work for you, but America does not work without a faith-filled Judeo-Christian foundation. I would be the president that helps us restore faith in God, faith in each other, and faith in our future. Without that focus, none of the issues, the policies matter. We have to get back to being a nation that is, in fact, the city on the hill that believes.
He didn't say city on the hill 3 times. He didn't say it 3 times.
Believes in each other enough for us to fight for that future.
Senator Scott, thank you. We're going to turn now to the challenges.
All right, so we're done. There's nothing else. That's all you had to watch from last night's debate. That's all you had to watch. I covered it. Everything else is just bullshit. And I'll tell you exactly what they discussed because I took notes while I watched the debate based upon the subjects because I started to notice a trend, so I started writing them down. Mostly because the first thing was about Trump, right? So let's go to my timeline now and let's get right to the business. Hold on. All right, let's bring this back. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right. Let's do that. Wait, where'd it go? Come back. All right, here we go. All right. Let's open this one up. And let's open this one up. So, my thoughts on the debate. I said, considering NBC chose to make the first debate question about Trump shows you how serious they take America and Americans. They don't at all. Well, let me just expound on that point really fast. And this box is irritating me. Hold on. You know, I got OCD with how the screen looked. All right, there we go. It's not centered. It's just going to throw me off. So there are many issues that need to be discussed during a debate, and NBC chose to talk about Trump. They chose to discuss something that's very small brain, soap opera-ish, gossip, chatty patty. Okay, that's what they chose to do. So this is complete disrespect to Americans, to the viewers, to the constituents, to the United States of America, to all Americans. It is an insult to our intelligence for them to begin the debate about former president, soon to be President Donald Trump. Let's go to the next tweet. Now, the next tweet I said here said NBC's first debate question was bait designed to fracture Republican relationships by attacking Trump. Those who took the bait, like DeSantis, were too dumb to realize the trap was being set because the cheese on that trap looked too tasty. So DeSantis is in the middle of a feud. In politics, they teach you to attack your opponent. I don't know what that's about, but they teach you to attack your opponent. DeSantis and Trump are always going back and forth. So NBC was like, look, we're the lefties, they're the righties. What we're going to do is we're going to start this debate off and have these guys attack Trump, because that's really what they're afraid of, is Trump. So this bait is for future gotcha moments. Next year, when Donald Trump chooses a VP, more than likely, out of this bunch, they may debate some Democrats. The VP or running mate may debate some Democrats, and they're going to go, remember when you said this about Donald Trump on the debate stage last year on NBC, and now you're his running mate? You're a hypocrite, right? So this is gotcha moment. Also, it's designed to create animosity within the Republican Party, create confusion, and just a little bit of chaos, right? And DeSantis took the bait. Now, there's two individuals on that stage that did not take the bait. So who did take the bait? Nikki Haley took the bait. DeSantis took the bait. Chris Christie took the bait. The two people who did not take the bait were Vivek and Senator Tim Scott. So I have Vivek and Senator Tim Scott as 1 and 2 for my VP pick. Okay. I think that Senator Tim Scott is probably the better VP for Trump. Just because he's not going to leave himself open to attack. He's just too milquetoast to attack, right? Whereas Vivek's going to leave himself open to attack, but he's more vicious. He's more young. He's more daring. He's more like Trump. So a Trump-Vivek ticket is going to be very entertaining. So it depends on what you want, right? It depends on what you want. Do you want entertainment or do you want politics, right? And do you want the left to have weaknesses to exploit? Because Senator Tim Scott, outside of policies of what I'm not going to discuss, there may be openings for attack. There may be vulnerabilities. There may be weaknesses. But Vivek is definitely going to give you more entertainment. It's going to be more brash. It's going to be more in your face. At the end of the day, Vivek took that question better than Tim Scott. Tim Scott gave us the same old, carbon copy, milquetoast response, where Vivek capitalized on the opportunity, attacked the left, brought up Russian disinformation, brought up the laptop, brought up the election results. Those were 3 very good left and right hooks. Okay. Very good, very damaging, very brilliant play for Vivek to not only not take the bait, but to also send the, deflect it back onto the moderators in the NBC network. Now, obviously, Vivek's not going to throw Trump under the bus, because what I believe is Vivek's really just posturing himself to run with Trump. And, being that Vivek is an elite grifter, running with Trump is his best opportunity at getting some money. I mean, his popularity is going to skyrocket next to Trump. Skyrocket. And win or lose, he's going to have a big payday. Big payday. He's going to cash out. They exposed Nikki Haley for being a broke bum bitch. And then after a few contracts with the military industrial complex, now all of a sudden she's worth millions. So we know what happens when you land into a high seat in Congress. It comes with perks and benefits, and everybody's net worth tends to rise significantly. So Vivek is definitely wanting to align himself. So it doesn't make sense for him to attack Trump, but he does want to align himself with that VP spot. And I think the same thing goes for Senator Tim Scott, where he wants that VP spot. Now, let's go to the topics that were discussed last night. These are the topics that were discussed last night. And I said here, because of the topic selection, America is not a serious nation. So the first one was Trump. The next one was Iran, anti-Semitism, Ukraine, China, TikTok. TikTok was part of the China conversation. Venezuela, opiates and fentanyl, and of course, abortion. So just a bunch of small brain, miscellaneous, chatty patty, gossip, soap opera, garbage. All right. I'm not even going to sit up here and pretend like any of these topics are important. I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to act like abortion is an important topic. I'm not going to act like opiates and fentanyl are an important topic. They're not. In my humble opinion, they're not. To some of you, you may be, oh my God, but the fentanyl's kill. I don't know anybody that does fentanyl, has done fentanyl, or was killed by fentanyl. Okay? But I do know people, I lost family members to the crack epidemic. Okay? And I watched that happen as a child to my family members. Okay? I watched a whole family of my family just fall to crack. All right? So I'm not here for the now y'all want to cry about opiates and fentanyl, because it's creeping into your neighborhoods and opiates are creeping into your neighborhoods. I just really don't care. And this was published by Governor Newsom on his website. He published it right on his website. You know, the fentanyl coming from China. He said that's what he spoke to China about. It's right on his website. He published it. So even the Democrats are admitting there's a fentanyl issue. But again, these issues to me are not important. I want to talk about economics and I want to talk about money. I want to talk about CBDCs. Now, I do not expect anybody on that stage to be brave enough to talk about CBDCs. So I'm not even going to hold that against them because it's a very sensitive topic. You definitely don't want to be a political candidate and mention central banks because, you might have a seat next to JFK and Abraham Lincoln. Abortion, you guys know how I feel about abortion. We covered that yesterday. So that is my opinion on that. We'll take calls in about 30 minutes here. You can text Hotep in your name at 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name at 202-596-5631. I want to go to another topic here. And this is from someone who made a video about me. He tagged me in it on Twitter in regard to the CBDC, and he was highly critical of me. So I want to respond to him. He watches the show. He says he's a faithful viewer of the show. So I want to respond to his video. So we're going to play that right here, right now. Let's see what he has to say.
It seems like once CBDC, central bank digital currencies, it seems like once every 4 months, I make a video talking about this. It seems like, what is this? You can tell I really don't want to talk about it, but being that it seems like it's such a big deal, I guess I should. All right, so there's this YouTuber that I always watch named Hotep Jesus. Him and Uncle Hotep. A lot of entertainment. I watch him for a lot of entertainment. Like, Sundays. But Hotep Jesus started doing a daily, every single day live stream for like a couple of hours a day. And it's pretty cool. It's my entertaining way of catching up with, I like seeing things through his eyes. Yeah. Not to say that I agree, right? But I can see. There's a little bit more clarity looking through, right? So, but the one thing is, so he's half Jamaican. And he's happy, he's proclaims that proudly, right? But I don't think he knows anything about Jamaica or anything. I don't know if he's even been here,
So let me just stop him right there. Do I know anything about Jamaica? Very little. Very little. I don't keep up with their politics. I know the story of Duda, or Dudas. Fucking Trish keeps me up to date on Jamaican politics more than anybody. I know they have a two-party system there, and Uber driver from Jamaica told me about this, and he basically said they have a two-party system, and where he's from, like, you can't even cross the street because you'll get your ass beat by the other political party. But yeah, I don't know anything about Jamaica. I'll admit that I don't know anything about Jamaica. But he says, have been, and I've been to Jamaica several times. As a kid, I used to go every summer. I've probably gone at least a handful of times in my teens, and I recently went back a couple years back to bury my grandma in Kingston, Jamaica. So I have been.
All right, so like for the last 2 months, this dude has been talking about CBDCs every day. Like, I don't see anyone else, man, on the internet doing this, right?
You hear what he said, right? I don't see nobody else on the internet doing this. Huh?
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Continue.
Like every fucking day?
Every day.
He dedicates like an hour to central bank digital currencies. And I'm saying, man, this is
it's central bank, but continue.
Only YouTuber that I watch on a regular basis. I don't watch no one else. And so the person I want to...
I appreciate that, by the way. I appreciate that I'm the only YouTuber you watch. That's dope.
Watch. And I don't want to hear about no CBDCs. He's talking about this shit to the point now where this is why I turn on the camera though, man. Because I get on YouTube after having an amazing day. And then, I'm winding down, get on YouTube. And what is it? The Future of Money is CBDC. That's the title of his, how long is this stream? Hour and 53. Man, that shit rhymes. So I'm like, hey man, I ain't watching that. Cause he's not up on game. All right, so.
He says I'm not up on game. He accuses me of not being up on game. Now listen to this, y'all. Now he's in Jamaica, I'm assuming. I can tell by his house structure that he's probably in Jamaica. The sounds in the background, it's at night. But let's listen.
Let me tell you now what he does. He plays both sides of CBDC because he's into crypto too. He's into Bitcoin and crypto.
I play both sides. Okay.
Currency. So there's a side of him that wants CBDC to push through because he sees it as a benefit for cryptocurrency in general, which is.
That's false. That's just unequivocally false. I do not want to see CBDCs come about in order to force a crypto bull run. No. That's not true. Now, is that a possibility? Is the adoption of CBDC, could that, help crypto adoption and create another bull run? I think so. I think it's definitely going to make crypto more relevant. But I'm not sitting up here like, please CBDC come along so my bags can pump. No, that's just not the take. My take is more like, because the CBDC is an inevitability, cryptocurrency is going to cease being a tool of speculation and a tool of transfer of value. So it's going to move from a store of value to a medium of exchange to create freedom. So technically, my bags might not pump. They'll just become currency.
True. But he also sprays the narrative of, be afraid of the tracking, but hey, it's coming anyway. He says all the scary stuff about it that everyone should be afraid of. And he also says how the government is pushing it. And then the government wants everybody, and it's coming, and the government is going to mandate and all this shit. But the thing is, that's where he's wrong. That's where he's wrong.
So he said, that's where I'm wrong. That's where I'm wrong? All right, I'm going to hear you out, bro.
However, he could be right if it's like,
However, he could be right.
It up a notch and say, how about it's a Trojan? It's like a Trojan horse, right? So let's just say that he knows what the result is really going to be, but he's not proclaiming that, right? He's just spreading the fear. But, you know, on the background, here's the top secret, G, right? Here's the top secret flow. So zoom out on CBDC.
Wait, what? What do you accuse me of right there? That I know what's really going to happen, but I'm keeping it a secret?
In the fair, but, you know, on the background, here's the top secret, G, right? Here's the top secret flow. So.
What? I didn't get that part. I didn't get that part. What secret is there? I would love for him to tell me what the secret is, because I don't know what secret that I'm hiding about CBDCs when all I'm doing is documenting all the research that I find and the sources and the daily news and telling you literally, you're actually watching me in real time understand CBDCs. Like, I'm trying to understand CBDCs, and you guys are joining me in that journey. There's no big secret that I'm holding back from. I can't even fathom what he might be talking about.
Zoom out on CBDC to see it from where I am at.
Okay.
Where I am at in the island of Jamaica, the only.
Now listen to this. In the island of Jamaica, listen to this.
Country in the whole entire world. Right? Still, for the last 2 years, who have tested a CBDC for 2 years and then released it fully 100% into the public 2 years ago, and everyone loves it, and it's done everything as far as benefit.
You heard what he said. You heard what he said. I'm gonna bring that back.
Everyone loves it. It fully 100% into the public 2 years ago, and everyone loves it. Everyone loves it, and into the public 2 years ago, and it's done everything as far as benefits go. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it, and it's done. Everyone loves it, and 2 years ago, and everyone loves it.
Now remember when I told y'all, I said, people are going to ask for this. People are going to want this. Remember I told y'all this? I said, people are going to like this. They're going to beg for this. And we're seeing it right here, right now. He's saying he loves the CBDC. Oh, shit. Now, when I got to this part of the video last night, I was like, whoa, what is he about to say? This is crazy. Let's continue.
And it's done everything as far as benefits go. You know,
it's done everything as far as benefits go.
The Jamaican dollar is stronger than ever before.
Jamaican dollar is stronger than ever before. Now, this is something that I've said. This is something that I've said. People said, oh, the dollar's going to die, the dollar's going to die. I'm like, well, technically, you know, CBDC is going to save the dollar. Remember I said this to y'all? This is why I do these things. This is why I do these streams, so things can be documented, and I do it daily so we can go and look back. But this is the problem with people. I want to bring that back.
The dollar is stronger than ever before.
Stronger than ever before. That is the plot behind the CBDC. That is the plot for every nation behind the CBDC. Last week, we did a story on India and the rupee. And we said, you know, it doesn't make sense for them to transact in the yuan and the ruble and the dollar. They want to transact in the rupee. So they have a CBDC rupee. And they're transacting in it. And it's going to make the rupee stronger. We got stable coins coming out of Brazil. We got stable coins in Peru and Chile, and they're working on stable coins. And I also said stable coins stabilize the dollar. I said all of this. So he doesn't want to watch the streams that mention CBDC, but if he watched them, he would get the education and he would see what I'm saying. He's not watching the stream, Sauce. And he said it in the beginning. He said he's tired of seeing the CBDC, so he don't watch the streams. So I guess he's watched one or two, and he just doesn't want to watch the other ones about CBDC. And I get it. It's boring to some people. But I said this. I said the CBDC is designed to strengthen the currencies of each respective nation to lock down their constituents, to lock down their citizens. This is how people are going to take control of their citizenry. This is the new form of slavery. I got shorts on this. This is the new form of slavery. So yes, it's going to make the Jamaican dollar strong. At to what expense? Let's go back.
For no longer moving in the opposite direction against the US dollar is stronger than the US dollar as a result.
You said what?
The US dollar as a result. The Jamaican dollar is stronger than ever before. No longer moving in the opposite direction against the US dollar is stronger than the US dollar.
Now, he just said the Jamaican dollar is stronger than the US dollar. Oh, my Lord. We got to pray for this brother. Yo, I need y'all to name the top 5 countries that are backed by the Jamaican dollar. They don't exist. They don't exist. Nobody in Venezuela or Brazil goes, you know what we need? We need a stable coin tied to the Jamaican dollar. Nobody says that. It's not stronger than the US dollar. What are you talking about? In fact, if I go to Jamaica right now and I ask a motherfucker, I'm not even gonna do one-to-one. I'll do an equivalent. Do you want the equivalent of $20 in Jamaican CBDC, or do you want raw cash USD $20 bill? You know what the local's gonna tell me? Give me that fucking cash.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Yeah, he high as shit. He high as shit. The Jamaican dollar is stronger than the USD. What world is he living in?
As a result.
He thinking about that now.
People are enjoying a lot more convenience.
Boom. You heard what he said. The people are enjoying a lot more convenience. Remember what I told y'all? Remember what we discussed? The CBDC will be sold as a convenience. It will be sold as a convenience. And he's telling you right now, this is why it's so important for us to look at other countries to see what we're about to experience. Because the people around you are going to love this. They are going to love this. This is things we've discussed. Let's continue.
Being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need a bank account to do.
You heard what he just said? You heard what he just said, y'all? Listen to this.
Being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need a lot more convenience. Being able to operate outside the banking system, being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need a bank account. Being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need a bank account. Being able to operate outside the banking system, you don't need a bank account.
Remember I told you?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Yo, remember we discussed how you're going to have an elimination of banks and you won't have a bank account? Remember this is what we discussed. You will not have a bank account. The banks will not exist anymore. And in the future, people will wish the banks came back.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And he's saying it right now. You don't need a bank account. They are eliminating bank accounts. You will deal directly with the central bank. Oh my God. Freak Mac says, might not need a bank account, but you got a government account.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Do financial transactions. You can get money out of the ATM and you don't have a bank account.
Okay, that's true. Russia also, we'll go into the Russia story later, but you can transfer your CBDC for raw cash from the ATM. Let's continue.
Because you can get a CBDC that is just linked up to whatever government ID you have. And every...
You heard what he said. You heard what he said. Your CBDC's linked to what?
That is just linked up to whatever government ID you have. And you get a CBDC that is just linked up to whatever government ID you have. Whatever government ID you have.
Oh, wow.
And every citizen is guaranteed to have it. All right? It's not
every citizen is guaranteed to have it.
Like you get a choice. You
heard what he just said? Now he's talking about this stuff like it's good. Listen to this right here.
Guaranteed to have it. Being able to operate outside the financial transactions, you can get money out of the ATM and you don't have, you can get money out because you can get a CBDC that is just linked up to whatever government ID you have. And every citizen is guaranteed to have it. All right? It's not like you get a choice. Guaranteed to have it. All right? It's not like citizen is guaranteed to have it. Whatever government ID you have. And every citizen is guaranteed to have it. All right? It's not like you get a choice. Like you get a choice. You have citizen guaranteed to have it. All right? It's not like you get a choice. You have it if you're a citizen. All right? It's not like you get a choice. You have it. All right? It's not like you get a choice. You have it. All right? It's not like you get a choice. You have it if you're a citizen. All right? It's not like you get a choice. You have it if you're a citizen.
He's talking about the CBD as if this is good. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
And you can go to an ATM and get money out just because of this, and you don't have a bank account. And this is a CBDC, but here's now the best part about CBDC. The reason why
the best part about a CBDC. There's a best part?
I think the government was so quick to implement it. Because
Now listen to his logic here. Why the government is so quick to implement this.
And this is the thing now. Here's the background. Here's the top secret file. This is where I'm not supposed to talk about CBDCs, right? The reason why the government here was quick to implement it is it removes corruption.
The government wanted CBDC because it removes corruption? Let's continue.
From corporate, from government, because without CBDCs, it is possible to be corrupt because there's nothing tracking the money. There's different banks, there's cash, right? There's enough non-existent infrastructure to say that money is just gangster world without CBDCs, right? And this means that the gangsters are the politicians and the CEOs and the heads of the big dudes.
He says the gangsters are the politicians. If the gangsters are the politicians, why would the politicians want to eliminate corruption? So the gangsters run politicians, but they decided to create a CBDC so that they wouldn't be able to be gangsters anymore?
Who are doing the corrupt things because they can get away with it with the way money is set up with different banks and cash. And
different banks and cash. So he believes that corruption within the banking system is not tractable. It's not trackable. He believes that corruption that's happening within the banking system will be eliminated with a CBDC. That's what he believes. This guy knows nothing. He should watch Ozark. He should watch Ozark to understand how corruption actually works. Because with or without a CBDC, you can still be corrupt. Okay, so the money trail is much more trackable. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's still going to pop up a shell company and CBDC through the shell company. They do the same thing with the current banking system. What are you saying?
There's no way to track anything because everything is behind closed doors. This bank has a computer system with their thing. This bank, it's just like, come on, man. You ain't getting no access to none of that. However, once there's a CBDC, which is out right now in this island, right? Automatically, every dime is tracked. It doesn't matter what human being says what. It doesn't matter. No, we're going to keep this a secret. Nope. Just because it's fact that it's tracked means it doesn't stay secret for long, because the fact that it's there means someone else wants access to it. And it's just a matter of who I got to talk to, what votes got to be, what's the situation? It doesn't matter what.
Notice he says every single transaction is tracked.
The shit's going to come out. This means that every dollar is tracked between every person, every corporation, every government entity. There's no way to...
He thinks this is a good thing.
...be corrupt.
Now listen to this.
An entity, there's no way to be corrupt.
So he believes that with the CBDC, there is no way to be corrupt. Who wants to tell him about Senator Menendez? Anybody want to tell him about Senator Menendez and his Egyptian gold bars? I'm drawing from my memory right now. What country is it that's working on gold-backed digital currencies? They got gold-backed digital currency. Gold is making a huge comeback. Gold is making a huge comeback, right? And a lot of the corruption is going to be done in gold. Cash and gold. Cash is moving away, but a lot of you saw it with Senator Menendez. Gold bars. Just a fact. So he believes that CBDC is going to magically eliminate corruption. Like, who would be that naive? Like, I can't even sit up here and tell you how corruption can be conducted under a CBDC system. But the CBD system's irrelevant to the corruption. If I move from government to private industry and from private industry to government, that in itself is a form of corruption. That revolving door is a form of corruption. I go inside government, I create new legislation. I come out, I exploit the loopholes in said legislation. Then I go back in government and I close those loopholes for everybody else who had the loopholes and create new loopholes, or keep the old loopholes, but make the old loopholes a little bit tighter. LP said, same people that said SBF scandal happened because we didn't have enough regulations. Exactly. Corruption. Let's think about corruption from a corporate level. Currently, we are able to see which corporations donate to which political candidate, which political party. CBDC is not going to change that. It's just not. Furthermore, corruption doesn't happen just with money. Corruption happens with favors. Hey, look, I need you to pass this bill because my homie over here got a little corporate system situation going on, and we'll make sure we'll invest in your son's company on the Series B round of his next raise. That can be trackable. It's currently trackable. It's still corruption. The CBDC is not going to stop that. The system's not going. The corruption that the CBD system wants to stop isn't even corruption. What they want is they want to track everybody, and they want everybody to be a tax citizen. They don't want anybody transacting in cash or any other foreign currency. We'll talk about that in a second. They don't want people transacting in any foreign currency.
And this is why it was looked at in a bright light by the government. Because a government can run smooth without corruption, because...
A government can run smooth without corruption. Yo, this dude got some weird utopian outlook on life. I want whatever he was smoking. He got some of that good Jamaican ganja.
Jamaica is a small island, and everyone loves each other.
everyone loves each other in Jamaica? Everyone loves each other in Jamaica? Now, listen, I've been to Jamaica. Everybody don't love each other in Jamaica. Nobody loves each other anywhere. We couldn't even have everybody love each other in Hotepistan. We had Rudy and Mike going at it. Like, what do you...
Right. At least, yeah, right. So basically, let's all get along, okay? So CBDC says, we're going to move corruption so I can chill out and be a government employee or a politician without worrying about being suspect of or being taken part of or partake in corruption, because that's what my friends are doing. Look, none of us can do it because every dollar is being tracked.
Every dollar's being tracked.
And it just takes, even if this shit is private, it can become public. And that because it's being tracked, unlike the way things are without it. And so for this reason...
if you do business with a bank, it can be tracked. Newsflash.
If governments in other countries see this and go, oh, fuck no, we don't want no CBDCs. I mean, that's going to kill my corruption. Or they don't realize it, that's what it's going to do. And they go, the people don't want this. Why? They're going to be tracked? Let's push this. I don't know, man. Even though they don't want it because they're afraid. Let's push this. I mean, is that the right narrative? Because it's going to come around. It's technology. It's going to exist. You're never going to not have CBDCs all across the world.
You hear that? You hear it. He's right. You are going to get this all across the world.
Right? So it's coming regardless. It's just about how long can resistance be? It's futile, right? Because
he's right. It's futile.
So the government's going to say, wait a minute, we can't cheat anymore. Corporations can't cheat anymore. No one can cheat anymore. The very first dollar of a CBDC, and when everything is CBDCs and there's no more banking system, it's all CBDCs, which takes, real quick, man, real quick. Then there's no more corruption anywhere in any corporation. Everything is transparent.
He said the CBDC going to eliminate corporate corruption. This is amazing.
Right, because that's where it's going to go. Even if it's for the first year, there's secrets, it's going to be transparent a year later because that's where it's going to go. And once everything is transparent, everyone can trust each other. There's no more corruption.
Who knew CBDC was just going to save the world?
And so I don't see Hotep Jesus talking like this. He on that old down-to-earth shit. I mean, this is the higher perspective, where I'm seeing it from, and I'm out of time. Which takes, real quick. Even if it's for the first year, there's secrets, it's going to Hotep Jesus. And so I don't see Hotep Jesus talking like this.
You definitely don't see Hotep Jesus talking like this. I'm going to show you. LP said the government will regulate itself. Yo. Oh my God. So let's go to what's really happening in the world. CBDC updated today. Shout out to Syscoin. Let's go into what's really happening in the world. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. HSBC and Matako, Ripple Labs owned, preps a tokenized security custody service. So this is something I predicted. I said this at the Bitcoin Magazine conference in Miami when I was on the news desk. I said custody is going to be the technology of the future, and HSBC and Ripple Labs are working on custodies for enterprise, which basically means they're going to hold your assets and secure them for you, and they'll probably be insured. So you don't have to worry about, cybersecurity, losing your keys and stuff like that. Interesting thing here, and this is what I was talking about before. HSBC Orion tokenized gold launched last week. So they have tokenized gold. This is what I was just talking about. Tokenized gold. Gold is making a huge comeback. So, keep an eye out on that. Now, VTB Bank, a Russian bank, has made it so that the CBDC, the digital ruble, is now withdrawable at ATMs. So you can get cash. You can turn your CBDC into cash. Now, many people look at this and they go, oh, look, they're not trying to eliminate cash. Nah, it's more like, hey, look, I'm the good guy. I'm not trying to eliminate cash. When really what they're trying to do is they're trying to increase CBDC adoption, increase CBDC trust. And then 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, they go, oh, wait, there's no more cash. Too bad. Now we can eliminate the ATM. So it's just a way of increasing adoption. They always start off the nice guy. This is how a lot of this corruption happens. They start off as the nice guy, and it's bait and switch all over again. All right. Now, a bipartisan bill has been introduced, and this one here blocks Chinese blockchains. So basically saying that government officials cannot transact using the digital yuan, right? And including a Tether Corporation as well. So this is interesting, right? So where he talks about CBDC eliminating government corruption, the United States government has just introduced a bill because they're afraid that the United States government officials may be corrupted by a CBDC.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
So I don't know where this dude is in love with CBDCs. Meanwhile, here in the real world, our government is saying these CBDCs could create more corruption within our government. Also could create security vulnerabilities, et cetera, et cetera. But really what they're concerned with is outflows, capital outflows, and we talked about that the other day. I'm not exactly sure what to think about this yet. I'm going to have to think about this. However, the second phase of this would roll out to us. And this is what I warned everybody about before was, and again, the creation of CBDCs trying to create digital borders. Okay, so these digital borders where they lock in their citizens. And we talked about before, will the U.S. CBDC be cross-compatible with the digital yuan, this China CBDC? Will a U.S. citizen be able to atomically swap their USD for digital yuan? There's a strong possibility that Congress will legislate against this because they're concerned about capital outflows going from United States to China or United States to Russia via the digital ruble. So I would look out for that, which is going to create a whole bunch of other, and again, this is going to be programmable. So once you have the CBDC, maybe emerging technologies from the black market will make it so that you can deposit a CBDC with a third party and it rewrites the code of your CBDC if this stuff is even possible, so you can transact another currency, or they'll find some other workaround. You just, people are very innovative. So there may be some sort of workaround coming up. Andre said, money is not the only thing of value that can be used to or for corruption. Yeah, that's my whole point. Like, exactly. Like, why does this guy think corruption only happens? I don't know. So what I want to know is when Goldstein calls in, I want to know, is this guy who made this video about me, is he an insurgent? That's all I want to know. Is he misled, or is he an insurgent? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. We're going to go to phone lines. Text Hotep me your name to 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631, and we'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.